First cut is the deepest. Do 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 do. Well, hello. I'm going to show you how sometimes indicators can throw you off. And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you who have not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy Trader. And what I'm trying to do is kind of put trading in the real world and maybe show you a little bit about what I get up to on a day-to-day basis. It's normally mayhem, because I come down into this office, which is my wife's business, and just, well, get terrorised off by it most of the time. I talk, I've been terrorised. Hello, my sweet.
Come for you. You have caused confusion and delay, and terrible trouble to my trousers.
That's nice. I'll tell you what hasn't come for me.
What's that?
Well, it's in like a brown liquid form.
In a mug.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. Hang on, let's see what this is. Right, it's from Amazon, and it's here. Give us a sec. I hate these bloody things. Either someone's got the very wrong impression of me, or maybe it's even the right impression of me, depending on which way you want to look at this.
Are you serious?
What is it?
I'll give you a clue. Come here. Come here, I'll give you a clue. It's quite good, this, actually. Yeah.
Oh, give us a clue.
Well, you've got two of them and I've got one of them.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Sorry.
Come on then, what is it?
It's me very own booby colouring in book. Oh, that deserves a moment. Oh, that was a good moment. Hey, come here a second. No, seriously. I'm not going to ask you to get them out. I know you're well stacked, but...
You dirty old man.
Well, you are. They're pretty impressive for a little girl. If I colour them in, would you tell me off?
Mature colouring pictures.
Why do you always do these stupid things? And why do you always announce them to me before you do them?
Yes? No?
Yeah, honestly.
There's no notes in it, so I don't actually know who this is from. But whoever it is, you've really got my sense of humour off to a T. I will fill that in, actually, and I'll post it up every once in a while. Honk honk. See, when you get to my age, that's about as much as you get. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, that's fantastic. Right, okay. Sorry. I've lost my train of thought now. Anyway, what's the chances of a coffee? That's very good of you.
I'm getting another.
That's very good of you. I like you. You can come again. I'll pay you.
Splendid girl, and so helpful. Do you know she's been showing me how to stick the pole up?
Right, okay. What was I saying about the chart? About how sometimes indicators can throw you off. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to give you an example. Because it's very easy to get caught up in this indicator does that and that indicator does the other. And you try and follow it fully. And then you find that you get yourself in a muddle. Because the indicator doesn't really do what you think it's going to do. So I'm going to start and I'm going to show you the best indicator that there is on the chart.
Well, we're waiting.
And we're going to look at something where indicators kind of show you something different to what might be happening. Now, on here we're looking at an oil chart. No other reason than it just happens to be moving, and it's a good example. And I put an Ichimoku cloud on the hour, and it is telling you it is going down. And why is it going down? Because we've broken the cloud and it has continued on its trajectory down, and the Kumo twist is red. So let us move this up to a 4 hour and see what's happening. Well, on the 4 hour, it's still telling you it's down and the twist is there. So you've got 2 time frames that are basically saying this is going down. Now, yes, you can clearly see this is on a downward move. But does that actually mean that you still buy into that move? Because this is where the indicators get a little bit wrong. And what we're looking at this moment in time, if I take that Ichimoku off, is the best indicator on the chart. And it's the price itself. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go against what that Ichimoku was saying, just as an experiment. Now, this could be wrong, but basically what I'm trying to show is that sometimes what the indicator is showing you and what is happening are 2 different things. Now, we need a baseline for the underneath, which is probably here. Okay. Now I'm just using an hour's chart for purposes of example. Okay. So what have I done? At this moment in time, I've caged the price between 2 areas of attraction. One here, one here. You can see that by that sort of bump in the road there. We can see that it's happened before as I was scrolling back. And if we're looking for a 1 below, well, the next bump in the road is here. Now, there is another one there. So what we'll do is, I'm just going to put a little dotted line there because I want to see the difference between them. Okay. So there we go. Right, so we got it caged in. I'm going to put that Ichimoku back on. Like so. It's clearly telling you it's going down. There's a good twist. Move this out to a 4 hour. It's in the cloud, so this could act as a form of support and resistance, but the twist is telling you it's a continued move to the bottom side. Okay. Let's have a look, see what the daily has to say for itself. The daily, well, there's a twist, but now it's going the other way. All right, and this is where you can actually get really confused because everything's conflicting. And why am I going up through different multiple time frames? Because I was asked the other day what happens when they conflict. Well, if you're swing trading, you'd be looking for the daily and the 4 hour to have some form of confluence. All right, why? Because of the length of time it takes the chart to play out. All right, but what we're going to do at this moment in time is we're going to have a little look to see what's going on. All right, so is there any sort of bumps in the road what this can run to? Well, it is actually this level here, and you can kind of see that it's definitely been respected a few times, so it's the right level. Likewise with this one, so that's correct. And even that dotted line is showing good support resistance. So just taking out a couple of levels, basic levels, can help you. Now, we're probably a little bit too far out on the chart for the next sort of 10 minutes trade that we're going to be doing. So let's have a look. So we'll look at the 4 hour, see what's going on. Okay. Well, it's 5 to 2, so this is coming to the end of the hour. It's in the cloud, but the cloud is telling you it's going down. All right, because of this red section here. And you can see a downward move. But that's interesting, because you can actually use that as a stall point on a 4 hour. Now, as you go down the time frames, that'll then become far away. So that stall point can actually become a target point. Take it down onto the hour and let's have a look, see what's going on. Well, we can see a tail forming here. Okay, just there. There's still downward pressure, we can see it. That is massive. But could that be an exhaustion? And why? Well, it's had its downward move down. It's tried to push up, and then the final flush for it to turn around. It's very feasible. It happens all the time. But how do we know? Well, we don't really at this moment in time. So now we're looking at this. This is telling you it's going down. See it there. But all the tails are at the bottom, starting to push the pressure up. And we can see that here, here, and here. So is the price telling you something different than the Kumo? Yeah, it is. It's actually telling you pressure's going the other way. And what happens is when markets pull away from moving averages, Kumo, Ichimoku clouds, this is called a Kumo cloud, by the way, and that's a Kumo twist. They will naturally want to come back to the equilibrium. In other words, back to the middle ground, or find some form of level which acts a little bit like a magnet. Okay. So we take that down onto 5 minute. But now what do we see? Yes, this is red and it's pushing down because that was a solid drop off. But look what's coming in. These greens that you're seeing here are what are forming those tails pushing up. Now what you have to decide for yourself now is, are they strong enough to push up into a level? Well, who knows? But what we do know is markets rotate back to areas of attraction. And they will try. Now it's tried it here and it's failed and it's pushed away. So what I'm going to do is, for all the indicators are saying go short, I'm going to trade this long. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to kind of follow the price till it bottoms out and then try and come back up. That's the idea. And it's really an experiment in don't always believe what you see. The markets are very good at faking you out. And sometimes when you see a freight train going, yeah, it is. But eventually it's going to come to the end of the line. And that's the hard part, finding the end of the line. So what we're going to do, oh, Love of My Life has brought me a lovely coffee. Again, she's good at her, isn't she?
Nice.
You call it, oh, don't hide your assets. Oops, sorry. Almost X-rated. We haven't an X-rated one. We did find out who the book came from. It was from our resident Dusty Bin. I don't think he gets that because I'm not sure if Dusty Bin is from my generation or his generation. But a good salute to you, my friend, and you really made my day. And it's definitely made up for a shitty week that I had last week. So, well done, my friend. Well done. I'll still play the Dusty Bin music in the Discord, even though you and Dooku seem to like rock music, and apparently country music is not cutting it. Well, my music's better than yours, so it's staying. Right. Bit more of both and McNeil. And if you're a naughty boy, I'll sing it. Right, okay. What are we doing? We are going to get into this. We're going to try and get maybe 10 pips going against the grain. And that's the thing. Don't be greedy. I don't recommend doing this. You should always try and go with the greater grain. Even when you're being market neutral, as I am, you have the greater trend, which is the daily and the 4 hour. But the hourly will still show you a trend as well. And then you would use a 5 minute to count to align yourself with that hourly trade. Now, in this instance, I'm not actually doing that. I'm showing you how the markets will naturally rotate back into equilibrium. In other words, the middle points of the chart. Okay, so it's coming up 1 minute to 2. And what I'm going to be doing is I'll be placing orders around this area here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably on the top of this one here. And then the idea is to grab, well, if I can get 10 pips running up here, I'll be quite happy. My problem is this. This is a bit of a sticking point. It's not as strong as that or that, so I am expecting the price to punch through it. However, it's still a roadblock. So when you see the orders going in, this will be an area of, well, let's just say that there could be a bounce off it. Ideally, I want it to run down and then swing up. And if I need to, I'll put extra orders in between there. But once it gets past this point, we pretty much, it's time to start thinking other ideas. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll just let it play out and we'll see if we can get it to rotate back up. And that was that, guys. Let me just clean all this up. There we go. Kind of going against the grain. Because all the indicators are saying go short. They're saying down. See it here. Move it out to a 15-minute. See it here. Move it out to the hour. And it's there again. Constantly telling you to go short. However, the trade would have been quite dangerous to go short. And why? Because it's pushed that far away from the indicator. Now, all indicators are made up from the same way. Historical price action. And that's why they are lagging, because it takes these calculations in order to create the indicator in the first place. And even the Ichimoku cloud, which is kind of a leading indicator of sorts because of this twist, is still made up of historical data. So what you do is you kind of use them as benchmarks. In other words, ways of setting boundaries. We know the upper boundary is going to be this. You know, and because it's pushed away from it, eventually it's going to try and come back to it. The same as you see moving averages. You see the price move away from a moving average, comes back into the middle. Bollinger Band is the same. It'll push away and it'll come back to the middle. It's kind of the way the markets work, and it's why I say the markets breathe. They breathe in, they breathe out. They breathe in, they breathe out. And that's what we were looking for in this point. Now, the other boundaries were simply levels. So let me find a level here. So we found another level at the bottom. And then we had the bump in the road, which I then used as a target point. And why that? Because it just seemed logical. And if it is following this indicator, do I really want a chance trying to get all the way up here? Because it could easily grind all the way down there before it starts coming back up. Which is why I say don't really try this one at home. But it was really just to get your mind thinking that trades are not always what you think they are. And I think that's why, let me just flick this over. I'll grab my coffee. And I think that's why a lot of traders get caught out. Because they try to follow the indicators so much. Points this way, it must be going that way. It's not necessarily so. The art of trading is how to read the chart in its entirety. And what I mean by that is you're looking at the bigger picture, you know, and if you can see that, then within that picture you should be able to create a plan and a roadmap as to where the price is going to go, and then just follow it. And it's kind of what I've just kind of done today, and it's paid off quite well. In fact, how well did it pay? There you are, 244 quid in, I don't know, wasn't long anyway, less than an hour. Happy days, happy days. So, fire your questions. I'd be interested in your thoughts in the comments. This was a strange video in the sense it wasn't normal trading, shall we say. But who knows? Might get you thinking a little bit. Don't always believe what you see, I guess is what I'm saying here, because I often say trade what you see. And sometimes what you see and what's going to happen might be two different things. Just look at the bigger picture. Anyway, rather than ramble on, I'm going to have my coffee. I'm going to have a bit colouring in. Cheers, Dusty. And have a good night. So trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.